Great Wednesday evening. It is a different type of Wednesday evening. And I say a different type of Wednesday evening because I expected it actually to be on the colder side, but it surely is not a little bit more on the wet side, but we might get some of that tomorrow. It has been good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. It's been an interesting type of day for me today. Actually, started off the day getting ready for I guess a meet and greet that we had with the Rotary Club here at Cobbleheads at noon, and I thank some of the individuals that went along to be with us. Buenas noches, buenas noches. ¿Qué onda, Erasmo? Buenas noches. Erasmo, ¿fuiste al Torito hoy? Oh, hoy no fui al Torito, pero por poco sí llego. Déjame decirte que me dio la tentación de llegar ahí esta mañana para calar una papa con papas con huevo y chorizo. Espero, a lo mejor mañana les caigo ahí de sorpresa. Eh, He estado estas mañanas como que craving, este, queriendo comer tortillas de harina con chorizo, papas y huevo. Esa es mi niña, esa es mamis, la que estaba atrás de mí. Uh, I might do torito tomorrow, not sure. Maybe if I contacted someone there and, maybe I could get some good. Let me say, guys, I had a conversation. Las de harina, ahí están bien ricas, son las mejores de Brody. Voy a calarlo, Miguel Ángel. Y si me estás invitando mañana, mejor. Uh, Let me start off with saying I had a conversation with one of the candidates today, Mr. Tino Williams, because we did meet up today. Because today was my nephew's signing ceremony there at St. Joe. I got to say hi to a lot of the folks out there, and it was a good little conversation. Had a great little time. Uh, Let me say that mi primito trabaja ahí y te atendió la vez pasada Osvaldito. Salúdame mucho, Osvaldito. Dile que a lo mejor mañana le voy a llegar de nuevo. Uh, my man, a shooter, my man, a shooter. It's Shooter and I, we met at Panteon's. Um, Still raining. Thank you, appreciate that. Met up at Panteon's album release. There at Kraken, not this past weekend, 2 weekends ago. Had a great little conversation. It was good to see him, and it was kind of trippy because he goes like, "Hey man, it's me," and we're like, "Yeah, who's you?" It's me, Shooter. I go like, "Ah, bro, you always have that mask on." Hey, Frankie.
Good evening, Erasmo. Happy Wednesday. How's your evening going so far?
Oh, good. Uh, Everything's going good. Let me say, guys. Um, and I'll start off with how my day proceeded. Uh, had uh, had to went to the forum, and we could talk a little bit about what happened at the forum, Frankie. Then I went to municipal court today because I had gotten a ticket for uh, running a stop sign. It was very questionable whether I actually ran a stop sign or not, but it's okay. I went and I did my thing in court, and I make mention of that because there, and I figured this was going to happen. There was always already a picture going out there, and again, I understand that it's kind of cool thing, but someone says, "Oh, there's Erasmo because he ran a stop sign, a red light." I did not run a red light. Just to get it clear, it was a stop sign, but it's kind of trippy because now me sitting anywhere, it just it makes social media, which is okay. I'm okay with it. But I thought it was kind of cute. I haven't shared it yet, but I probably will share it tomorrow morning. And then, of course, we did the forum, talked to the individuals from the Rotary Club, and had a small conversation with Jennifer Stanton and with Jessica Tetro. But besides that, guys, it's just been an interesting type of Interesting type of day, Frankie. Jerry signing. We did Jerry signing, Jerry Martinez signing, and got to have a conversation with Tino Villarreal. And I've had a great conversation with a lot of other candidates today. But how was your day?
My day's been it was busy today. I posted last week that it seems as if there isn't enough hours in the day. This is the first time in my life, and I know it sounds so bad, but this is the first time in my life where I've been working till like 10, 11, 12. Sometimes I haven't eaten. Sometimes I'm like, oh crap, I need to take a shower. It's been, I've been at it for a while. It's just been very,
Yeah.
very hectic, very, very hectic. But I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm occupied. I'm doing something good. It's just been eventful. And then today, kind of was, was an awesome day. We saw our cousin sign a letter of intent to go play basketball at in Houston, which is, it's a big deal. Just goes to show the hard work, the sacrifice that his parents made, that his family made for him. So hopefully he could keep on living that dream. What I did want to tell him was, to enjoy it, and that's what I forgot to mention to him. Enjoy the moment. We all talk about how our glory years, high school, shortly after college, um, because after that, the real world happens, and life sometimes slaps us in the face. But it was a beautiful moment for my aunt, for my uncle, for their siblings, and for all of us. We feel as if this is a big accomplishment for all of us, even though it's really Jerry and his parents and his household
Of
that
course.
did everything. But all in all, it's been a beautiful couple days. Getting ready to psych myself up for early voting, Erasmo. It's coming up sooner than we know it. Election day is right around the corner. So all in all, it's been a busy, busy, hectic 2, 3, 4 weeks, man. But I'm happy, I'm healthy, and ready to hopefully win this race. If not, ready to be in that runoff.
2.5 weeks. So it's going to be interesting. And let me say, guys, one of the things that I mentioned that I had a conversation with Mr. Villarreal, Tino Villarreal, and the conversation was in regards to me stating that he thought that I was upset with him because of the comments that was made in regards to being extremist, and I said, no, man, I'm not upset. I actually take to heart the label of being extreme, and I think a lot of individuals here in the community, appreciate someone that goes against the grain. We need someone to go against the grain, and I know that, and I'll say this: I had a great conversation with Mr. Villarreal. I know that it wasn't directed at me, but I did want to make mention of that. That sometimes this community needs individuals that are going to be loud, that are going to bang the tables, that are going, to be a little bit on the we want answers type of side. Because I think this community needs someone that holds their feet to the fire, and I'll always say that. And we had a good laugh. We actually, I think there was a picture taken of us, which I'll share later on as well, where it seems like I'm upset. So I tripped out, going like, I hope no one thinks that Mr. Villarreal and I were out there like upset and arguing during Jerry's signing. 100% contrary, we were out there joking and having a good little time because the moment called for it, Frankie. The moment called for it because, as you mentioned, Jerry is going to go and take a new road in his life, a new path, and the hope and the desire is that he aprovecha el momento and takes advantage of the great sacrifice that his parents have made, his siblings, and he was very, very kind to mention his siblings, and his parents today. But I appreciate the fact that we as a family have, contributed little to it, but we have been able to go along for the ride. And I appreciate that from Genaro and from Gavi. I appreciate that from Jerry and from the kids. Really appreciate it. It was a good moment to be in because it was one of the dreams that we hope that every student here in or every individual here in the city of Bronzeville has that opportunity. to excel onto a university type of setting, if that's what they want to do, and continue on with their passion, their love, or whatever career choice that they have. And one of the things I think that we were talking about, Frankie, the other day is the importance of bringing back a lot of the, after school programs, a lot of the opportunities. I think Jerry was very fortunate that he has parents that are able to afford, Frankie, a lot of the, like the summer camps that they attended, a lot of the different basketball little organizations that they have been a part of. But a lot of the folks here in the city of Brownsville do not have sometimes those means, and this is where we as a community can provide some of those means.
Yeah, and you said it best. Living here in one of the poorest areas in the nation, we have students that don't have the same resources, support system, support group that others have. We have a large population of our youth that do reside in Matamoros do cross over here, and are looking for a better quality of life through education. We need to do a lot more for them, and for future generations. It's very imperative for our future leaders to implement and set forth job creation, set forth ideas that will make sure that this area, Brownsville, the lower Rio Grande Valley, would boom economically, would have resources, would have jobs, would have opportunities for others to, once they go to UT, San Marcos, Corpus Christi, UTSA, they'll want to come back because they say, you know what, there's so much need. The market is booming. That's the quality of life that we want from our politicos, Erasmo, and uh, it's unfortunate that time in and time out, we don't hear about these streets getting paved, these jobs being created. But on the other hand, we have a board member who was found guilty of taking bribes, of a $179 million plant that was never came into fruition. But who made money? The politicos. We still have our roads that need repair. We still have a stagnant job creation here in the city of Brownsville. There's so many issues that are affecting our daily lives of people who don't have the means, Erasmo, and we need to do better of that. We need to provide opportunity, more importantly for our youth, and we need to start doing our part by electing individuals that are going to set that into motion.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think this is one of the reasons why we slowly began to lose a lot of these programs, a lot of these after school programs. We started to lose them, and no one became all the more wiser about it. It was like, and I don't know, and I don't know if technology has something to do with it. If individuals are now more focused on their iPads or their phones than playing outside. Because when we were growing up, well, when I was growing up, you were outside on your chiscas and yeah, playing Indian ball. That you can't say Indian ball anymore, and we were throwing mud at the neighbor's ropa tendida with chicotes, because that's the kind of stuff that we would do. And I don't know if being able to be a part of a lot of the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, uh, Cub Scouts, even was a lot simpler back then than it is now. But I really, it really hurt to lose, a lot of our Boys and Girls Club here locally, especially the one where we grew up in, well, I grew up in, down Tyler Street. It's just very unfortunate that that one was not there anymore for our kids. One of the things that I think that Brownsville Parks and Recreation does, they do a great job of trying to make different programs out there for our kids. But my question is it enough? Are we really reaching enough of our kids out there, Susan?
Did you ask me?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch the first part of your show, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. But what was the topic?
Well, bringing back a lot of the after-school programs. We used to have a
Oh,
lot of boys and girls clubs, and a lot of these
mm-hmm.
other nonprofit, even nonprofits would have like after-school programs, which
Mm-hmm.
I tend not to have anymore. I think that we need more of these programs. I think we need to foment a lot of traits, a lot of character
Yeah.
into our kids, or at least give them that opportunity, where they have these programs that they go to not only after school but also during the summer. I was
Mhm.
mentioning Frankie and I were mentioning, how Jerry Martinez had gone out there and at his signing day,
Fine. Mhm.
and and one of the things that I've always stated is how important it is for parents to become involved in their kids. And I know you're very involved in your
Mhm.
kids' basketball.
Mhm.
I've seen a lot of your posts, and parents need to be involved and
Mhm.
take their kids to those summer camps and
Right.
all these things that are going
Mhm.
to provide a lot of the traits that are needed in order to excel in whatever thing that they want to excel in. But some of the individuals may have the resources to do it, and other individuals here in the city of Brownsville don't. Which is why I
Right.
think bringing back a lot of after school programs, Boys and Girls Club, is important.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's happening with our kids today is they're becoming more and more introverted because they're burying themselves in digital games and telephone, texting and Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and everything else. And they're not getting that the social skills anymore. They're losing that, and that's not going to help them when they're older in a workforce field. um, Trying to get an introvert and to work into like a customer service or any type of service field is going to be very difficult. So yeah, we're lacking big time in that for sure. That's something that's been fading away for years now.
Well, one of the things I think that we had made mention, we were talking about, was how important it is for parents to be involved in their kids' education and their kids' after school programs and all these other things. But I think one of the things that we started to learn along the way, or I think a lot of the different groups, was that there needs to be participation in all aspects of governance here locally, more than anything, because what the decisions that are made at these levels, at these meetings that we've been to, like the city meetings and the PUB meetings and that other PUB little CPAC or something, whatever I think
Okay. Hmm.
that one. Those meetings, it's important to be abreast of them, because I think what happens is for far too long, because no one was asking questions, no one was out there attending the meetings, that they basically felt unchecked, so they could do anything that they wanted to do. and
Yeah.
and, and I say this because it is important to keep everyone in check, because they are consuming the resources that
Hmm.
should be put back into this community.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't even think we have any type of city nice girls and boys club facility like a multi recreational center where those kind of programs can be held. I mean, we have the sports park, which probably would be a perfect area, but is not utilized for that, to my knowledge. But it is something that the city could really put, as an importance. And a priority to utilize some of the funding that they get, instead of these other kind of special projects.
Well, that was my. I had a conversation today with individuals from the Rotary Club, and one of the things that I hoped that they understood, and also the police officers, you and I, and several other individuals who got to be at the police officers, hope that they understood that whilst these individuals are using the resources that should go to the city of Brownsville as a whole for their pet projects, or for their compadres, or for their consultants, or for their attorneys, well, that money gets funneled over there. It's
Mhm.
less money that is available um,
For our city,
for our
the
city,
citizens.
for our police officers, for our firefighters. I actually had a conversation, and I think you had had a conversation with the firefighters as well. I had a conversation with the firefighters, and one of the things that they that was concerning to them, they said, "Well, that's one. I think one of the in one of your shows, and I appreciate the fact that they're watching the shows. On one of your shows last year, and I'm going like, damn, y'all been watching for a while, but." On one of your shows last year, you made mention that you thought that privatizing EMS was a good thing, and I said, well, you have to take the full conversation of what I was referring to, and what I was referring to back then, Susan, it was that we only had 6 ambulances in the city of Brownsville at one point. And I've been fighting this, screaming about this for like 10 years already, you
Mhm.
know? So my concern was, is that enough for a city where our population is close?
Way
I
above. Mhm.
Yeah, I always say 300,000. It's not 189. It's not 200. It's a lot more than that. Is it enough? And my constant response is, it is absolutely not enough. We need more ambulances. So I shared with the individuals at the fire department, at that little nice little uh, hubby little thing that they have. I said, guys, the gist of the message was, the city needs to provide more resources so that we could have 12 ambulances out there servicing the city of Brownsville. Now, one of the things that we have to take into account, Susan, I feel it's all connected. One of the
Mhm.
things that we have to take into account is when there is an increase of crime, because there is a lack of police officer presence, because we only have four or five officers, patrolling the evenings. When there's a lack of police presence, we have less officers. We're going to have more crime and
Mhm.
more to go time to get to them. So it's all just like this circle. Let's say we've had shootings these past couple of weeks
Mhm.
here in the city of Brownsville. Let's say we have a shooting going on this part of town that it takes a police officer to get there for a while, and then ambulance they throw out. Well, that ambulance is being taken away from a heart attack that could be happening down towards the other part of the city. So what happens is it's all just like tied in together. We need the resources, placed back into our first responders, firefighters, EMS, and police officers. We need those resources put back
Mhm.
where they serve the community as a whole.
Mhm.
In contrast, where these 179 million didn't benefit the people as a whole. So if
Yeah.
and this was my spiel, if they're not stealing 179 million, that's excess money, because every time the police officers, firefighters, everyone went to ask for money, they would say, "No hay dinero, no hay dinero," and they're no hay dinero because
Mhm.
they don't have the resources.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. I think there's some real easy fixes to the EMS problem, um, that could be implemented. And one of them could be the billing and recovery, that they have going on. They have a real issue with collections, and that is one of the major concerns that I think, needs to be addressed. And then the second thing is that they, besides the collection, I just lost my train of thought there. It was the collections and it'll come back to me.
Well, on collections, let me say, one of the things, it's kind of, was it you can't take blood from a turnip, you can't extract blood from
Yeah.
a,
Yeah.
in regards to the collections. Look, I know that a lot of our hospitals, and a lot of our medical facilities out there, they also have to deal with a lot of individuals that do not pay their bills. And again, m- mo- I feel for a lot of people, because I think that we are one of the less insured areas in the whole state of
Yeah,
Texas.
I'm not really talking about the people. I'm talking about the insurances and Medicare and Medicaid and those kind of things.
Yeah,
I deal with that I've been dealing with that for over 30 years, and I know that any little dot that you or T that you don't cross, you're in trouble, and they'll fight you tooth and nail to pay you. And so that's what I meant by that. Not really necessarily the uninsured or indigent population. I remember the other thing. The other thing is, that as far as privatizing, I have proposed to them, which I think would be a great solution, is the EMS is very, occupied with non-emergency transfers, and I mentioned this in the firefighter and EMS, and then I mentioned it in the police officers forum as well. Is that they're very occupied with non-emergency transfers? That's something that could be third party. Uh, a third party ambulance service could do that for us, and it would relieve them off of our emergency services a great deal, because those take a lot of time. They really do. And it's taken away from our emergency. If an ambulance doing a transfer for 3, 4, 5 hours, they're out. They're out that entire time because they have a non-emergency transfer to a doctor's office or to dialysis or from one nursing home to another or whatever it is. They
Well,
shouldn't be doing that.
it's my hope that firefighters understand. I'm not bitching about taking away something from them. It's just we just want to provide the resources out there
Mhm.
so that they can do their job. And unfortunately, for the citizens of Brownsville, for a while there, it just didn't seem like we were going out there and meeting the needs of the community. And I take into consideration, we did get a lot of individuals, um, and I think the gist of what we were discussing back then was closer to the pandemic than anything else. And
Mhm.
during the pandemic, there was a lot of individuals contacting, 911,
Oh yeah,
contacting EMS, contacting ambulances to get to one place to another.
yeah.
And there was a lot of individuals that it took a while to get to them.
Mhm.
Just let's provide the resources necessary to our first responders, to everyone else that are going to, need these resources in order to service Brownsville as a
Mhm.
whole.
Yeah.
But so how else did it go during the firefighter interview?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I liked it that it was interpersonal. It was more like just a kind of a one on, I guess, 30. I don't know. There was like 30, 35 there when I went. And again, that's my field, and I'm been in the healthcare industry for 30 plus years now. So I'm very familiar and comfortable in that area. It's a strong, I guess, one of my stronger areas. So it went well. I spoke to them about 3 weeks ago, I think, maybe two. So
I got to speak to him last week, so
mhm. Have a nice little area there.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Have you
Uh,
ever rode with ambulance before? Have you ever ridden with them? You
so
should.
I've ridden
You
in
should.
one, I think.
No, 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 not as a patient. Go and ride with them. Until people do that and understand what they go through, they are really one of the just like police officers, underappreciated, underpaid, and overworked people in a city. They really are.
Well,
It's
after becoming mayor of the city of Brownsville, I commit
mhm.
to doing a ride with an officer, firefighters, and EMS.
Yeah, we had to do that, and it's real. I've ridden with all of them, and it's just first responding professionals, and including our nurses and and the emergency departments and ICU and all of that. It's just really a neat field to be a part of.
I'll do it with anyone and everyone that invites me to go. Let me say. But
It's fun.
yeah, I think it's important. One of the things that conversations I had with them is that the big disconnect that exists. But how's campaign going?
It's exhausting. It's exhausting, but I've been in the community for years, so that's easy for me. Talking to people, being out there, it's where I belong. It's where I've always been. The petty crap back and forth, I hate it. And I'm trying my best to educate the people to understand that it's so important for them to get out and vote this election, especially this election. Um, I think there's been too many years that the citizens have lost their representation, and it's been poor. And I think the city's on autopilot. And I think that we need to make a change. And I think this election is the election to do it. And so that's what I'm trying to do is educate and inform them as much as I can on what's going on around them that I'm aware of that they may not be.
Yeah,
Like today, learned something all new today with the PUB meeting. Uh,
how we're not
Very
getting back
interesting.
anything?
Huh?
How we're not getting back anything?
Oh, we are getting it back, and you're gonna end up double or nothing. You're gonna end up
That's not.
not only they're talking about the 29 million. Now they've tacked on the interest earned. Now they want to refund that as well.
I don't believe it.
Hmm.
Again, I heard all this before, and what a lot of the words that they've started to use really trouble me. They use a lot of words like credited and ways or possible ways of, and that kind of verbiage, kind of language always seems to me like they're
Hmm.
wanting a little out, to whereas it really
I
wasn't a
I did
promise.
pick
What
yes, I did pick that up a little bit today. And, that's something that we'll need to keep an eye on. There is going to be a special meeting called with the board. And then ultimately on the 17th and 18th of April, those are going to be the days that we need to keep our eyes and ears open, especially the 18th commission meeting. That's when
Well,
they're going to vote. So
this is
we'll
what
see what happens.
bothers me, Susan. Isn't it conveniently all right before early voting?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's what's concerning to me, because again, one of the things that I've been dealing with before in the past was big steel. Big steel was coming to the port and was going to create jobs and was going to be a billions of dollar industry coming down, and everyone was excited. And let me tell you, politicians actually rode on that into the port. And then as soon as the election was over, it was like they pulled back, and it never happened. So, and a lot of times, we don't have enough time to go back there and to follow every single governmental agency here. But my question was, did they know beforehand, before the election, that it really wasn't going to happen? One of the concerns that I have, Susan, is that individuals inside the commission are going to start to make promises to a lot of these folks out there, a lot of these organizations, a lot of these groups, and that these groups might buy it again. I'm very hopeful that the police officers are pissed suffice that no more promises. I'm concerned with. I'm going to say this. I think I said. I don't know if I said this to you privately, or I've said it to other people. I'm concerned with Commissioner de los Chanclas' intervention in every single race out there, and my concern is, why does he feel that there's so much at stake? And I truly believe that he feels that there's so much at stake because he wants to take control of the commission by making sure that a lot of these individuals get elected to there. And then we have a lot of these community members that are kind of a little bit on the flaky side, that start to host these events for these individuals that are part of the same problem that
Yeah.
continues to have us going around in circles, and that's concerning to me. So my concern is: are there promises being made out there? Is Commissioner Las Chanclas with their little band of group, a lot of band of people out there, saying, let's throw this information out there in regards to PUB and say we're going to credit to the money back. It's going to happen plus interest, and they're all just talking points for these politicians to get reelected. And at the end of the day, we're going to get nothing.
I mean, I'm still very hopeful that that's not the case. As far as Commissioner Los Santos, I mean, it's very obvious he doesn't want me elected to the commission. I just, again, I the only thing I can depend on is going back to the people and having the people understand that if they don't wake up and vote, they're gonna a certain way, they're gonna end up with the same circle. That's the only way I can put it. It's the same circle. All you got to do is do a little research on your own, and you'll find it's the same circle of people. That's all I can say. And that's unfortunate because I really, really, is that me that earned the hate, or just like the Tetro?
Jessica.
Oh, okay. I'm like, because I have. I didn't see anybody. I didn't see anybody there today. I didn't see any of the commissioners there today. I didn't see any of the candidates there today. And I did mention to the committee that having it at 12 noon doesn't enable any of us to really get there. That's in the working class. So they needed to really look at that. And that's one of the things I propose is these meetings need to be held at a time when all the citizens can be present. If it's virtually or if it's in person, I mean, these 4 p.m.s and these 12 noons and all that, it's crazy.
It is crazy. I say sell PUB. Something different has to be done with PUB. Something different has to be done. I don't know if selling it is going to be the best thing to do, but something different has to be done. We do need a little bit more oversight. We need a little bit more of checks and balances. We need a whole lot of accountability.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I've experienced in the past 10, 12 years was that no one ever actually knew how much money these people were collecting from the increased percentage in rates that
Right.
they were getting. I
Right.
mean, even after the audit, there was still questions in regards as to how much exactly. And then they went back to do these numbers, and I don't even trust their numbers now.
Yeah.
Uh, with that said, I got a lot of lip service from my opponents saying, well, Erasmo's lying about the 179 million, and I sure as heck when actually Commissioner Los Santos, not my opponents, well, my opponent Commissioner Los Santos in this race, but even Commissioner Los Santos went out there public and said Erasmo's lying about the 179. I was very fortunate that night to been sent a link to respond to the accusation that I had been lying, and I got to put my point across well enough that Mr. Santos could not reply and did not want to reply because the numbers that we use are based on the numbers that they produced,
Right.
the ones that we have, and those are pissy off enough that something different has to be done.
No, it's absolutely 179 million that was taken. 30 million of it was given to them for operations and maintenance, and the rest of it was to NASCA.
And that's unfortunate.
Hmm.
Guys on YouTube, please like that channel. I can't actually watch it because I'm on my home computer. Right, I'm here. Yes, yes. Arriving late today. Sorry, family issues. Hope all went well at the Rotary. Great job, Susan PUB. Yes. Let me say, and I made mention of this. There was only three candidates there. John Cowan was having McAllister's for lunch, so could not go to the Rotary Club meeting. And I don't know if he's at that point where he feels disinflated and it's just losing steam in this race. Uh, it was myself, of course, did a good job speaking before the individuals. I did my full 10 minutes, had mayoral candidate Jennifer Stanton there. It was kind of a funny moment because I might have thrown her off whack a little bit, and I apologized to Miss Stanton because she went up, and I put up my camera and I took a picture. But I took a picture to send to her, like, "Hey, here's a picture of you at the Rotary Club," and I think she would thought I was recording her. Go like, and she mentioned during, "Am I being recorded?" And go like, taking a picture. But and I love Jennifer. She's a great, great, great person. So it was like, no. I said, didn't you take a picture of me? She goes, no, I was so nervous. I said, you were supposed to take a picture of me.
I'm surprised that I guess the mayor race is so important that they're separating. I don't know if they normally do that in the past, but the forums seem to be separating the mayor's race and the commissioner's races now. I'm not sure why.
Well, I think that they're doing it because they want to have enough time to ask enough questions.
Maybe.
What happens? I mean, there's three of y'all, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 commissioners, 8 candidates for commissioner right now, and then
Yeah.
8, and then there's 4 of us. That's
Yeah.
just 12. Having a forum with 12 individuals, we'd never get a question. We'd be able to answer 1, 2 questions, and then the time will be up. So I
Yeah.
think that's one of the reasons why individuals are separating them, and I can appreciate that. And this is why when we were doing the police officer, when I was going like, "Oh my God, we're not going to have a chance to speak."
And you're such a time hogger.
Me?
Yes.
No, it wasn't me. It was my friend that was next to me.
Who?
I don't want to say her name.
Gatti? Yeah, both you and Gatti.
I
That's
didn't
what I
take
told Jennifer and I were saying. I said, Jennifer, she kept looking at me. She's so cute. She said, I'm not going to take that long. I promise you, I won't take that long. So then she took like 2 seconds. And I was like, I'm not ready. And then I get up and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to take as long as them, but way more than her. She was like that.
I didn't take that much, and I was watching the Mr. Arellano, the police officer.
Uh-huh.
So I was watching him. I was making sure that he didn't give me these like. But my friend Kathy, man, let me tell you, she went on, I think, for like 18 minutes.
I know. I told Jennifer, hit her on the leg. If you don't hit her or start standing up, she'll never stop.
But
So funny.
I just had a lot to say, and today I did take my full 10 minutes, and I did. They did go like so. I cut it off. Jennifer did again her 2 seconds, but I love early voting starts April 24th. But I love Jennifer, and she got all nervous and stuff. And I said, no, I mean, look, we're going to have a forum next week. Let's get together and we'll practice together. I don't mind. I mean, and again, I do it with anyone out there. And I said, yeah, come on, let's have a good time about it. So we're going to meet this weekend, and we're going to talk about a lot of the issues. And again, and it's easier for me, I would say, because I've been so in tune with the issues for the past 10, 12 years. Whereas a newer candidate, might not get the gist of everything, how everything works out. And again, more power to her. I greatly appreciate Jennifer being in this race, and I'd hope more individuals would jump into the race, into races, not just me. True sayers will always get flack. Uh, you put it lightly. I appreciate you taking all those low blows. I'm so proud of the teams, Castro and Rubalcaba. On teams to look out. Yeah, and let me say, I'm surprised that I haven't taken as many blows.
Probably because they have none left. You've been running for like how many years? So they're like, yeah, we've already said it all. Let's turn to Susan.
I'm surprised. They're going like, damn, at least the attention is on someone other than me. But I was expecting a lot more blows coming my way and stuff, but no, I haven't gotten any. But then I saw a couple of yours. I'm going like, oh, welcome to the club.
You know what? You have at it.
About Ben, let him have it. The Captain Bob series, good job. The voices came off. You guys are rubbing off on people. I think that a lot more people are becoming more vocal. One of the things that I've noticed on social media, because I am still the king of all local social media, is that a lot more individuals are becoming a lot more vocal in regards to we want our money back.
I think it's so great. Look, if there's anything that happens out of all of this, is that people start, stop being so scared to speak up for what they believe in. And if you're right, if you feel you're right, and you have to protect. That's what we're here for. And as a team, we can be so much better, and I'm so happy that I'm seeing the same thing. A lot of people are speaking up. They're concerned. They're asking real legitimate questions. They have great ideas. I am so taken back by the amount of intelligence that we have in Brownsville that we haven't tapped into in our citizens. Great ideas. And that's why I think that the current leadership and the current commission, mayor, and everybody, they have disadvantaged us, the city, by not connecting with the citizens and collaborating with some of the things that we are lacking in here. And because, wow, we got some smart people here, that's for sure.
Very, very true. Early voting does start April 24th, and it will go on through May the 2nd. And I plan to be out there every day during early voting. So yeah, tomorrow is the last day to register to vote, April 6th.
That's right.
I'm going to send a message. Actually, my niece turned 18 today, so I'm going to make sure that parents have her registered to vote tomorrow. Happy birthday, April. Love you, mi amor. Where are you? When are you the new mayor? I'm praying that after May 6th, we will get enough votes so as we don't have to be in the runoff. Brownsville needs a mayor that doesn't go into the fetal position at the drop of a hat. There's so much to fix, handle, no time to waste. In the words of Jack Nicholson, he can't handle the truth. It was very funny because I made mention of this. I don't know if you saw that show, but in that forum, you were there. I looked over and Cowan was just like crouched over, said nothing. Mm-hmm. Literally said nothing.
I mean, it's really difficult for them in that position, being that they are current commissioners and there's so much pain coming from the voices of the police officers and the things that have happened to them. And you voted on it. I mean, it's a little hard for them to I mean, they didn't really have a choice but to kind of curl up in a fetal position and wait for it to all be over.
I was surprised. I expected a little bit more gump, a little bit more fight, a little bit more bite in John. I actually got nothing, and I like the biting and the scratching
Mhm.
too much. But how much is PUB as per federal guidelines supposed to be charging per gallon of water? That's a great question. Do not have that information in front of me.
I don't even I don't even think PUB is regulated because it is a municipality owned utilities board.
It's a good question. I have no answer to it. Let me say, go back into the John thing. I don't know if you saw that John produced a timeline. I
I
think
did see that.
today or yesterday. I have concerns in regards to that timeline,
Hmm.
uh, and I'll share this. I know that it isn't directly part of your race, but my concern with the timeline is it seemed like you were trying to make an excuse for. Well, I was concerned about it in 2018. Doesn't say what month, but I was concerned about 2018. One as commissioner for 2019, and I did nothing about it.
Hmm.
And then he wants to take credit for the audit committee in 2022. I'm going like, well, that was 3.5 good years.
Hmm.
What did you do in those 3.5 good years if you were concerned about it in 2018? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was a little concerned. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull that up too because here's one of my issues that I want to clear up with everybody. Tanasca started in 2012. At that time, Tanasca may have been a very good idea. It may have been something that was going to benefit the city, and economic growth and all of that good stuff that they vouched that was going to happen. If it was that on his commissioner's page, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so in 2012, when that started, that's probably, could have been a really good thing. However, it wasn't. It turned out not to be. And in all the PIR information, which by the way, I still haven't gotten it all, you can see that they started to do all these extensions, extension, because they weren't meeting the deadlines, and that's because Tanasca wasn't able to sell what they had to sell, and so by the end of 2017, which there's a whole skip there of that 2015 goes all the way to 2018 in his timeline. In 2017 is when they said, yeah, no more. It's done. And that was about December. If I'm not mistaken, it was about December that you see that there's like a break in the agreement, a termination. That's what they call it, a termination in the agreement. Well, in 2017, anybody that was on the commission or on the PUB board at that time and part of the PUB executive team, they all knew. They did nothing.
Nothing.
And so that's where my concern is. Now, I'm not sure if the information got from the PUB board to the commission at that time. Because I think from what I understand, it seems that they were still kind of leading the commission on. So when John says, "Oh, I kind of had like a funny feeling," but kind of let it coast a little, I can see that because that's kind of like what the audit report says. But the people on the PUB board for sure knew. And instead of stopping those rate hikes, putting it on pause, they went and spent $30 million on a building. They gave raises and they continued to lie to the people. And that is a real concern. So people need to go back and research all of that. It's there for you to see. The PUB minutes are there. If you need them, I have them, 2012 all the way to 2022. I'll be glad to share all that information with anybody that needs it. But yeah, I saw that timeline and it is a little concerning. I would like to know exactly when they became aware.
It would be interesting to find out. I'm just concerned there was no action done, and even after knowing, I mean, even if you have like a little hunch and a little uneasiness, do something, investigate. I mean, you were concerned in 2018, but weren't concerned in 2019,
Right.
2020, 2021, and
Right.
all of 2022. I mean, goodness gracious, do something. At least do your job.
Especially, or if anything, put a stop to the rates. Why do you continue collecting for something that you know is not going to happen? Or if you see that it's not happening and you're saying, "Hey, PUB, what's going on here? Why are we keep doing these extensions? Why are we don't have a building? Why are we not? What's going on here?" I mean, come on, that was 10 years. 10 years of nothing.
Let me say in regards to to Susan's comment in regards to it was probably a great idea back in those days when we were discussing Tanasca. All we asked for is a little bit of clarity because we didn't trust the individuals that were pushing it forward. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
And and this is one of the reasons why we get called, "Oh, you're negative. Nothing is ever right." And I'm like, well, prove me that something that you're all
It's
doing
extremist. It's
extremist.
extremist. Please correct that.
Sorry, prove to me that you're not out there to make a buck. Show me that you're
Mhm.
not out there, trying to put a fast one on us, because every single little project that has been brought forth to us, I question, and I've always questioned because of the individuals who ultimately make the decisions on them, Susan. And this is going back into the election cycle. This is why electing the right people is so important,
Right.
because if you're going to bring back the same people that have been there before, that have already served, that were a part of the problem, then nothing is ever going to change. It's always going to be the same.
Mhm.
And we're never going to have answers to the questions that most of us have.
Mhm. I actually mentioned that today because I asked them that, we still have no proof that the audit report has been sent over to the authorities for investigation. We have their word. Everybody, if you ask them, they say it. And I said, but I mean, you can only imagine that we can't believe a word anymore. So don't just tell me, show me proof that either the local DA or the FBI or whoever has the report and is investigating it. Now, obviously, it's up to them if there's any criminal activity. It's not up to us, and it's not up to the commission. It's not up to the board. But show me where it's actually been forwarded to them, because your word right now really is nothing.
Unfortunately. And it's a bad position for a lot of us to be in, because we want to trust that our local elected officials are overseeing, are concerned, are going to do the right thing when it comes to serving Brownsville as a whole. Unfortunately, we haven't seen that. We've seen a group of individuals that have served themselves, served their compadres, or served a lot of the individuals that are doing contract labor or consulting work for the city,
Hmm.
for PUB, and for every other department out there. And that's what's unfortunate.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
what else is coming up, Susan?
Well, I'm with you on everything you're doing. I mean, I think we're all the candidates, and everybody is at the. I still have the Rotary. I have the Cameron County Democratic Women, the Republican Women at Spanky's next week. Um, there is I have a veterans thing I have to do. Um, what else? What else? I know there's something else. The Rotary Club, the the realtors or whatever.
Oh, yes,
Uh,
realtors, Brownsville
yeah,
South Carolina realtors.
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think these next couple of weeks are going to be jam packed with events here, there, and a little bit of everywhere. Actually, I've got a very, very jam packed Saturday. I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm also going to attend a baseball game on Saturday. So it's going to be interesting. Uh,
Yeah, that's just the candidate part. I mean, I still have block walking and phone banking and my job and my kids' basketball games, and so yeah, the campaign part of it is so unpredictable because you get a call like here, like, hey, can you make it to here? Can you make it there? And you're trying to make it to all these places, and so I think I'm very routine and scheduled, and so that's a little annoying, but when I get there, I love it, so it's okay.
have fun.
Well, you're there half the time. You're at the same thing.
I'll have fun alongside, and I'm still waiting for my 2 books.
Yeah, I'm telling you, April 17th or 18th, right there, we're gonna know Double or Nothing.
Not gonna happen. Guys, have a great evening. Thanks for coming on, Susan.
Uh-huh. See
Guys,
ya.
great evening. See you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. Guys, be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.